And this bobcat may be in luck. For this particular valley is blessed. A river here never freezes. It's fed by a volcanic hot spring that heats these waters to 50 degrees warmer than the surrounding air. Hungry animals of all kinds come here to feed. Throughout the winter, the river is full of food for those who know how to catch it. Here, even the coyotes have become fishermen. But hunting is hard for a cat that's not used to getting its feet wet. So he must choose his target with care. Golden-eye ducks. But can he get close enough to pounce? Perhaps he'll have more luck on the other side. Here, steam from the river warms the surrounding trees. So up in the branches, there could be prey. If only he could get to it. It's 6 meters up. At last, a squirrel. Not much, but enough to keep him going. To survive a winter in these mountains takes tenacity, and bobcats have that in abundance.
In Antarctica, the freeze-up has come in spectacular style. In winter, the continent doubles in size. It's now bigger than the USA. The giant lockup causes an urgent problem for one inhabitant. A Weddell seal. As the sea around her freezes, her breathing hole has begun to freeze over too. Without it, she'll suffocate. So she resorts to using her teeth to keep it open. But at least she has a retreat from the icy world above. The sea down here is a constant -2 degrees centigrade. That's over 50 degrees warmer than it is at the surface. And it's been like this for 25 million years. Beneath the layer of ice, this enchanted kingdom is protected from the extreme temperatures above. It's a wonderland of the strange and beautiful. In this safe, stable world, life explodes. But even here, winter cold can crash the party. As temperatures plummet on the surface, it triggers the growth of something sinister. This is a brinicle, supercooled water sinking from above, forming a pillar of ice. For the creatures of the seabed, it's a stealthy finger of death. A river of ice imprisons everything in its path. Even those that think they've beaten the extremes of winter can get caught out.
Here, there are other challenges. St Andrews Bay on South Georgia is packed with 500,000 king penguins. In spring, the chicks are left for days whilst their parents are away collecting food for them. There is a simple arrangement. The chicks must stay exactly where their parents left them to be sure of being found again. But this chick has decided to look around. There is a lot to be investigated. But it must not stray too far from its meeting place. This parent has returned with food in its crop. But its chick isn't where it left it. It's hard to stay put when there's so much to play with. Elephant seals are here too. very mysterious. Finding it in the crowd of youngsters is not going to be easy. They must recognize each other by their calls. But to hear these in such a noisy colony, they must be within 15 meters of each other. Reunited.
It's now February, and when almost everything else in Yellowstone is on its last legs, the Druid pack is reaching peak condition. And it's now that the young females come into season. Hanging back from the pack is a lone male wolf. He has no territory of his own, but follows the pack, scavenging from their successes. But right now, food is not his priority. The young females won't mate with the pack's alpha male, as he is their father. So the intruder could well be in with a chance, as long as the alpha doesn't see him. Whilst the pack are distracted, one female sneaks away. She won't give up the security of the pack for him, so they meet close by in secret. But the pack are now coming their way. The alpha male is onto him. He won't tolerate any other male in his territory, let alone with one of his females. When wolves mate, they become locked together for up to half an hour. The intruder can't break free. For now, the alpha male has done enough. He's seen the intruder off, and he needs to return to reassert his position in the pack. The intruder retreats to a precarious life in the shadows. But whatever happens to him, so long as he was coupled for long enough, he will have young, brought up in the security of one of the strongest packs in Yellowstone.
At this time of year, polar bears on average succeed only once in 20 hunts. If the hunter is skinny, like this one, that may not be often enough. All she can do is keep trying. To prevent her scent betraying her, she makes a wide sweep to get downwind of the seal. Getting close. She's now right behind the seal. Incredibly, she caught the seal underwater. It's only small, but even so, its blubber alone will contain 100,000 calories, enough to sustain this bear for a week. And in that time, she might even catch another. But this can't go on forever. As summer continues, temperatures are rising. Each hunt requires more energy, draining the bears of their reserves.
On the Canadian tundra, there's another battle looming. And it's winter's ultimate heavyweight fight. Female caribou are ready to mate. It needs to be now, so their young will be born in early spring. So the massive caribou bulls must compete with each other to father the calves. The younger males watch from the sidelines as the heavyweights eye each other up. Serious fights are rare, but when they happen, they can be very dangerous. But while this old bull has been dealing with a rival, the young bucks have been trying their luck with his female. he must break off his fight and chase them away. The younger males may be lighter on their feet, but his bulk means he can muscle his way past. Another rival steps in with a challenge. But the old bull easily deals with him. As the chase slows down, he can finally impose some order. Now he's shown who's boss, a look is all that's needed. Only when he's sure he's made his point can he claim his female.
You are beautiful. Look at you. Scruff, scruff. He is my favourite wolf. He is so bold. Incredibly curious. I suppose that's just part of being a wolf that's just over 1 year old. No. Breaking the camera trap. No.
Every day that goes by, I'm feeling more and more comfortable with my wolves. I want to see if I can build a whole new level of trust. It's great that Banjo's so confident. But maybe I've taken this too far. I just have to hold my nerve.
Scruffy. I don't like you going behind me, you know that. You are still a wolf. Is it my scent that you're getting? Rather him than me. I haven't washed in weeks.
I think I can see how this fearsome predator eventually became man's best friend. Hey, Scruffy. Don't even think about it. Look at the size of you. He's actually quite nervous. He's flinching at the slightest sound I make.
I think I might be getting over my slight fear of Scruffy. I think he's just incredibly inquisitive. He just wants to have a good old look. I think I am understanding him more than I did. He's still an enormous wolf, but he just wants to get as close to me as I want to get to him, really. I suppose that's how it's working.
This barren, icy landscape is Antarctica, one of the harshest places to grow up wild. Winter is only a few weeks away, and young Adelie penguins need to quickly get stronger before the storms arrive. The chicks are only 3 weeks old. Their downy coats aren't fully waterproof, so they cluster together for warmth. It's essential the young stay in creches like this, as most of the adults have gone away. They have left their offspring on land as they go out to sea fishing, sometimes for days at a time. When the parents return, serving dinner becomes a competitive business. Both these youngsters are ravenously hungry, but before they can eat, they have to catch their mother. It's a demanding test for the siblings. Just staying on 2 feet can be a challenge. The race for supper is proving too hard for one of the chicks. It just can't keep up. Sadly, there will be no food for him today. The winner's reward is some tasty fish. It may seem cruel, but with life so harsh here, parents need to know which chick is stronger and more likely to survive childhood.
On the open plateau, right in the middle of this frozen volcano, is an animal that has lived here since the last ice age. Bison are exposed to the worst of the Yellowstone winter, but they are built for it. Their thick coat is such good insulation that they only need a tiny amount of energy to keep warm. So they slow their metabolism right down and concentrate on feeding. With massive neck muscles, they sweep their heads down through the snow to get to the grass beneath. But the grass has long ago put its summer goodness down into its roots and now has about the same nutritional value as cardboard. They will need to do all they can to save energy if they are to ward off starvation until spring returns. As the winter strengthens its grip, elk move into more sheltered valleys at the edge of Yellowstone. They don't have the bison's ability to move deep snow. But this brings them into the territory of the Druid pack. As the grazers are beginning to weaken, life for the wolves is getting easier. They are now successfully hunting about twice a week. They even have the energy to play. But their play has a purpose. It fine-tunes their hunting skills and helps bond the all-important pack structure. Though there are 16 of them, they can only hunt an animal as large as an elk if they hunt as one. The strength of the pack is what will get them through the winter. Bald eagles spot carcasses from miles away. But there is strong competition for a kill like this. A coyote. He has been shadowing the wolves and moves in now they have gone.
But without the lure of food around, these wolves are taking their time to get used to the crew and me. This is really interesting. As they're approaching, they're kind of chatting to each other, just kind of figuring out who's going to be the first to be allowed, probably to come in and talk to Tess, not to me. Hi. Hello. Hey. Hello. Wow. Okay, now they're starting to build up their confidence. They're still playing around with each other. There's still definitely some nerves going on. The fighting and the nipping and the scratching and the biting, it all has a real function of keeping the team together and keeping everyone in their right positions. It also gives you a really good look at those teeth. The canines are huge, utterly ferocious. Wolves have a bite twice as strong as our German Shepherd police dog. Tess knows each wolf and their different personalities. As they come closer, they greet her by licking her face. Although they might seem very much like domestic dogs, these wolves are still wild animals, and our movements have to be slow and cautious. As they approach, they're very much being led by that canine super sense smell. You can see what comes in first. Always the nose, always sussing things out with that incredible sense of smell first. 2,000 times more powerful than ours. That phenomenal sense of smell is used to track prey from over a mile away in the wild. They're gradually starting to get more and more confident, checking out Nick the sound man and Johnny the cameraman, getting closer and closer. But as they approach, I mustn't let myself forget how deadly these animals really are, and the wolves are quick to remind me who's in charge. Go on, look. Ooh! I think I might have moved a little bit too fast there and just got snapped at. Just to show that there's nothing in my hands. Wow. It's just a nibble, but even so, As individuals, wolves are awesome predators, but it's when they come together as a pack that they are really deadly. The way they bring themselves together, particularly before a hunt, is using a howl. And we're going to try that now and see if we can get these guys to join in. Should we give it a go?
Give it a go. Oh!
Working. The howl can be heard by other wolves over 6 miles away and also acts as a warning signal to rival packs to stay away. And what a wonderful, eerie, chilling, stunning sound.
Triggered by snowfall, in the Raincoast Forest, this mother bear is leading her cubs to the safety of a den. Plump on salmon, they will survive here for the next 5 months. Meanwhile, in the Great North Woods, as the temperature plummets, wood frogs freeze solid. Antifreeze in their blood keeps them alive. These painted turtles have just hatched. But they too freeze in their nests until food comes along with the spring. The seasonal forest is in suspended animation. But not all sleeps. Small mammals and birds venture into the cold to search for food. With oily fur resistant to frost, this wolverine is looking for a meal. He may need to travel up to 30 kilometers a day to find it. This moose is roaming its territory. Weighing half a ton and standing up to 2.5 meters tall, this is the largest land mammal in North America. Its long legs are perfectly adapted to walk through deep snow. And for extra insulation, its thick fur is made of hollow hairs. Moose can survive the winter by browsing on barren twigs and bark. White-tailed deer have a much more difficult time. They are adapted to life in warm climates further south. These forests are as far north as they can survive. 1/4 the size of a moose, their small bodies feel the cold. And their short legs make walking in snow treacherous. Beneath conifer trees, the snow is shallower, and the canopy helps to keep the air a few degrees warmer. Despite this, many will succumb to the winter. And those animals that perish provide a crucial source of food for scavengers.
Already the blizzard has reached the colony. The chick's only protection is his overcoat of down. and at -40, it's simply not enough. And unfortunately, the other mothers care only for their own. The chick's mother calls one last time, but her cries are lost on the wind. He's found, and not a moment too soon. Within a few hours, the full force of the storm engulfs the colony. The chick may be safe, but as temperatures drop to -60, his mother's warmth is not enough. To protect him, she needs to find refuge in the shared warmth of the other penguins. As 100 kilometers an hour winds lash the colony, the penguins huddle together. Sheltered from the storm, they're snug at last. But out on the ice, the lone father is still paying the price for his mistake. His only hope is to reach the safety of the colony in time. In the comfort of the huddle, the penguins have all the shelter they need. In the center, temperatures can even reach a toasty 37 degrees. To cool down, they shuffle to the outside, letting others take their place. By sharing body heat, they weather any storm. Desperate for the warmth of the family, the lone father struggles on. For the sake of his chick, he simply has to make it back. Then through the blizzard, salvation. Against the odds, he's made it home.
Food is so hard to find this far north that a wolf pack must search hundreds of square kilometers if it's to be successful. And success means raising the next generation. To do that here, the wolves must work together. So the young are raised not only by their parents, but by their aunts and uncles as well. Together, they try to ensure that each pup reaches near adult size before the snow returns. A growing pup needs more than just a few leverets. The wolves need bigger prey, and to catch that, they must hunt as a pack. Adult hares may be easy to spot, but they're far from easy to catch. They run at 60 kilometers an hour. To catch one, the wolves work as a team. One of them gets close enough to bite the hare's tail. But a hare can change direction in an instant. If it can continue to sidestep and jink, it may ultimately outlast them. Finally, it gets away. For the next hare, the whole pack gives chase. Now, numbers count. The lead wolves keep up the pace. Others run on either side, so the hare can't change direction. A tiny meal for the whole pack.
Seals usually give birth every year and are pregnant for up to 11 months. So making sure this pup is independent so she can have another means she's on a tight schedule. There's no time for messing about. It's straight down to business. This newborn needs to join his mother underwater at only 2 weeks old. Mum encourages him to take the plunge. The icy pool doesn't look that inviting. She has to give him a good tug. Once in, he has to learn essential survival skills, getting to know the local landscape underwater and the best routes to breathing holes. A youngster like this should be able to hold their breath for up to 19 minutes. Her pup needs to practice this. The longer he can hold his breath, the more chance he has of outrunning predators, like leopard seals and killer whales. Luckily, when it comes to learning fast, seal pups have a natural advantage. They are born with huge brains, already 70% the size of their mothers. Humans, on the other hand, are born with a brain just 25% the size of their parents. The seal pup's large brain means they can reach independence sooner. Lessons progress quickly. If you thought getting in was hard, getting out is even harder. Mum tries coaxing from above. Success. A quick well done, and it's on with the next class. One of the most important lessons is how to keep air holes from freezing over by filing them back with their teeth. Deciding where to put a new air hole is the next stage in this youngster's tuition. Finally, it's time to take a well-earned break. Supplying the pup with enough fat to keep his rapid development on track is a huge drain on his mum. Weddell seal milk is about 60% fat and amongst the most calorific of any mammal milk. No wonder her pup will double his birth weight in just 10 days. He needs to learn and bulk up fast, as he'll be fending for himself in just a matter of weeks. It's tough love, but life is tough when living in extremes such as these.
One of the most successful snow animals is solitary and lives most of its life alone. They can be found in the very far north of the Arctic. The polar bear. This male, like every polar bear, is almost completely covered in fur. But his secret to staying warm in this frozen land is actually inside his large body. He has a huge layer of insulating fat, about 10 centimeters thick. It traps heat, keeping him warm from the inside. To maintain this fat, he relies on his good hunting skills. His prey is hidden under the thick ice. Luckily, he has a secret weapon to help him hunt. An extraordinary sense of smell. 100 times stronger than ours. He can detect a seal carcass from 30 kilometers away and under a meter of snow. success. He will eat all the fat of a seal first, often leaving the actual meat. This extreme fatty diet would kill us, but for the polar bear, it's essential. Indeed, they are one of the fattest mammals on Earth. Their incredible insulation and intense sense of smell make the polar bear a master in the snow. They're also built to move around effortlessly in this snowy environment. Unlike me. I am a perfect example of an animal that is not adapted for walking about a snowy environment like this. I'm 12 stone, 12 and a half stone, and all of my weight is distributed onto my feet. Size 12, big feet for a human, but not big enough to stop me from sinking down into the snow. What I need to do is increase that surface area, put on some snowshoes. I suppose the secret to moving around in deep snow is to do it efficiently. There we go. Adapted for walking in the snow. That is so much better. It's easy. I can walk through the forest. I'm not sinking down into my waist. I can go fast. I can almost go silently. Like I belong here. Polar bears have built-in snowshoes. Their paws are wide, measuring about 30 centimetres across. This helps them to distribute their weight evenly on thin ice. Underneath their large paws are small, soft bumps to give them extra grip on the ice.
A predator. Wolves. These in northern Canada are the largest and most powerful in the world, and they're setting out to hunt. The pack is 25 strong, a sign that the prey they're seeking is formidable. These bison are even bigger than their southern cousins and the largest land animals in North America. For generations, wolves and bison here have been shaped by their battles with each other, making each the most impressive of its kind. The bison will not stay long among the trees. They're not safe here. The wolves are closing in, but their chance of ambushing the bison in the woods has passed. Their prey are now in the open and grouped together for safety. The wolves will need to work as a team if they're to make a kill. They circle the herd, trying to unsettle it and split it up. But the bison are armed and dangerous. They will be safe as long as they stick together. The wolves up their game, harrying the herd, a ploy to trigger a stampede and split away one of the smaller ones. The bison form a defensive circle around their young, horns pointing outwards. The wolves need a bison to break rank. But the tables are turning, and now the wolves have to retreat. The pack focus their attention on the rear of the herd, and the bison begin to panic. A young bison falls behind. Even this yearling dwarfs the wolves. Running head down, the herd's only thought is escape. A stroke of luck for the wolves. The kill will feed the pack for several days, but then they will have to resume the chase.
In a forest in Finland, a black grouse is preparing to put on a show. It's the most important performance of his life. It will determine whether or not he gets to breed. Only one male will get the chance to mate this year, and that male will have all the females. The others will get nothing. With such high stakes, the competition is intense. The females begin to arrive, and the dance-off moves up a gear. More and more males join in. These birds can wait years for an opportunity to mate. Some will never get the chance at all. The females seem to have spotted a potential winner. It's half dance, half handbags at dawn. One last lunge is all he needs to win the bout. It's all over. The loser slips away. The best performer is the strongest male. And that's just what the females are after. His strength will be passed to their chicks, giving them the very best start in life.
A family of otters is making its way to a river, kept open thanks to the underwater geysers. Here, they can happily fish for a much-needed dinner. However, they are not alone in this snowy landscape. They are being spied on by a clever trickster, a coyote. He's been watching and waiting as the otters dive for fish. This otter doesn't want to risk losing his dinner and plans to hide his catch under the ice. Although the coyote can't see the otter, he can hear him moving somewhere underneath him. The otter emerges, but without the fish. He's stashed it somewhere under the ice. But where? It's turned into a game of hide and seek, and the coyote fancies his chances. A huge trout. What a prize. In these conditions, being cunning as well as a little bit devious can be the key to survival.
So many animals choose to pair up because co-parenting has some definite advantages. Especially here in the Arctic, home to the Arctic fox and one of the harshest places on Earth to try and raise a family. With temperatures as low as -50 degrees Celsius, winter has forced this devoted Arctic fox pair to part in their search for food and battle for survival. As winter's grip loosens, the snow melts, and the foxes sport their new summer coats. The fox pair are back together again, but life hasn't got any easier, as they now have extra mouths to feed. These cubs are about 4 weeks old, and their parents take it in turns to dote on them. The cubs need to be fully independent by the time winter comes round again, so this duo work flat out to share the hunting. Like all parents working on opposite shifts, they don't get to see much of each other. So snatched moments of family time are precious. But with the survival of the cubs directly linked to how much food Mum and Dad can put on the table, there's little time for relaxation. Except for the cubs. The foxes have timed their offspring's arrival with a glut of food. Other animals have babies too, and this fox mum has found a nest full of eggs. But she's possibly underestimated how fierce the snow geese can be. A single Arctic fox will take as many as 1,500 eggs during the breeding season. These parents have just 4 more months to fatten up the cubs before they have to be independent. So teaming up is the only way they can successfully raise young in the narrow window of summertime. A dual effort helps many parents face the challenge of raising their young in a short growing season, before the hardship of winter arrives.
Exhausted from his swim, the bear must regain his strength. The next day, a sea fog shrouds the island. The walruses sense that they're in danger. Using the fog as cover, the bear approaches the herd. The adults close ranks around their young, presenting a wall of blubber and hide. He tests the barrier, but it stands firm. It appears that the world's largest land carnivore has met his match. There must be a chink in the armor somewhere. Not here. This female walrus is shielding her pup if he can just prise her off. The bear's claws and teeth can't penetrate her thick hide. With the herd retreating to water, the bear must move quickly. Having failed with one, he heads straight for another. The chance of his first meal in months is slipping away. He seems increasingly desperate. It's now or never. He must avoid the stabbing tusks if he's to win. The flailing walrus is immensely powerful and drags the bear away from the shallows towards the safety of the herd. It slips from his grasp.
And it's not just that fabulous fur the fox has got. They have incredible senses, particularly their hearing. And despite having these fairly small ears, this fox will be able to detect its prey with pinpoint accuracy, even when it's hidden underneath the snow.
In the depths of the Canadian winter, a young Arctic fox is searching for food. He's still a hunting novice. It's not easy when you can't see your prey. With his acute senses, he can hear a faint sound under the snow. Lemmings. To catch one, he uses a special pouncing technique known as mousing. he has to judge its exact distance as well as the depth of snow. To help them find the right spot, foxes actually align their pounds to the Earth's magnetic field. An extraordinary skill. But mousing isn't always easy, especially for a beginner.
They're setting off on the greatest overland trek made by any animal. But wherever grass-eaters travel, predators lie in wait. Here they are, Arctic wolves. They must seize their chance while the caribou pass through their territory. The wolf runs at the herd, trying to flash out the weak or the slow. A calf is separated. At full tilt, 60 kilometers an hour, the wolf is just faster. Has stamina. Only a few weeks old, and this calf's will to survive is remarkable. And it needs to be, for these young caribou have now started a journey that will last a lifetime. Forever chasing the seasonal growth of the grass on which they depend. Like all grassland creatures, they are at the mercy of these unpredictable but ultimately bountiful lands. Grass can survive some of the harshest conditions on Earth: flood, fire and frost, and still flourish. So it is that grasslands provide a stage for the greatest gatherings of wildlife on planet Earth. For sea lions to venture into deep water here is very dangerous indeed. It's much safer to stay in the shallows if they can. In one or two places, channels enable the whales to get really close to the beach. Those are the danger spots. To get off the beach, the killer has to thrash its body. No other whale deliberately beaches itself in this way, or has perfected this method of getting back to the sea. As long as the sea lions stay well up the beach, you might think they would be safe. But the hungry whales are very daring. Now, several of the whales are hunting in a group. That sea lion was keeping just ahead of one of the whales, but was caught by another it probably hadn't seen. This savage beating may be to separate hide from flesh.
Reindeer traditionally pull sleighs and have a popular reputation for red, glowing noses. But behind this folklore, there is some surprising truth. An ingenious adaptation which helps them survive the extremes. Their noses are full of blood vessels. These cool warm air down as it leaves the body and warms cold air up as it comes in, keeping the reindeer's brain constantly warm and active. So, as the thermal camera proves, reindeer's noses are actually red. It's not just the nose of the reindeer which is extraordinary. How they view their winter surroundings through those large, characterful eyes is truly astonishing. When it's bright and sunny like this, my eyes struggle to cope with the amount of UV light that's coming from the sun and is bouncing back up off the snow. If I was to spend too long here, I'd eventually damage my eyes. I could become snowblind. But reindeer, they see things differently. Not only can they see in colour like I can, they can also see in ultraviolet. For us, it's difficult to make out detail when the landscape is so white. But with UV vision, a reindeer can see things in much greater contrast. They can see shapes and detail that we can't. The lichen on the trees which they eat, or animal urine in the snow, becomes more prominent. In such a white, snowy world, it certainly helps to have that extra insight. Reindeer even have specially designed flexible hooves. In the winter, their 4 toes can spread out wide to act like snowshoes. This means they can walk on bumpy ice without slipping. However, on smooth ice, they can sometimes find their shoes a little ill-suited. Wolves can have up to 10 pups in a litter. I'm desperate to find out if there are more hidden in the den. But before I can move closer, the whole pack returns from a hunt. It's way too soon for me to approach with all of them around. So I'm going to try the next best thing. We have power. This has never been used before with wolves. In fact, this has never been used before with any animal. It's very much a prototype, but it's a rock crawler. It can handle this rugged terrain, and it's fitted with 2 little HD cameras that I'm hoping to drive up this slope and get a good look at the den. 2 potential problems. The terrain is really difficult, but the real danger is that the wolves don't take too kindly to this and rip it to pieces. It's designed to handle the terrain, but not a pack of 6 wolves. We'll see. Okay, I see a wolf. I'm a bit concerned about the interest the wolves are showing. There's a bit of difficult manoeuvring. Let me see if I can nudge it forward. Oh dear. It's all part of a learning process, and I've learned that there's part of the den up there on the right. It's the bit with the buggy sticking out of it. I might still get a view inside the den. I found a hole. After a lot of manoeuvring, I get the picture I was hoping for. Oh, I can see a pup. I can see a pup. Amazingly, looking straight into the camera. These wolves are incredible. They have never seen this kind of thing before, and they don't scurry back into the den. Oh my word, that is just glorious. Oh, you beauty 2 pups. Oh wow, they are just adorable. These pups were born deaf and blind, but now their senses are developing and they're starting to explore the world around them. I might get the pups to come and investigate it. They're looking at it. They're about 4 weeks old and their first teeth are coming through.
These wolves are unbelievable, they really are.
3 pups. Gee whiz. I do not believe it. Wow, I feel as if I'm right in there. I'm actually a member of the pack. It's great. I'm loving this.
Peru, there are so many seabirds fishing in the offshore waters that the cliffs are covered in droppings over a metre thick. Humboldt penguins regard the soft guano as a good material in which to dig their nest holes. But it's a messy business. It's the breeding season, and more hopeful nesters arrive, spotless from swimming in the sea. Time for the residents to get cleaned up and catch some fish for themselves and their chicks. To get to the sea, they cross the remains of an old nesting ground. Only 100 meters to go. But the beach is already crowded with sea lions. They too have come ashore to raise their young. And they don't like being disturbed. To get through such a minefield needs a bold and courageous leader. A brave start. A dead end. Now he's in trouble. This is going to need a bit of crowd surfing. But now all the sea lions are roused. Getting through them will be tricky. A cleansing bathe in the ocean. Well worth the effort.
As it gets colder, one animal here gets stronger. Wolves. The winter is their time. Gradually, it weakens their prey. This is the Druid wolf pack, one of the largest and most powerful in Yellowstone. The pack have this bull elk surrounded. But there's a problem. The pack won't follow the bull into the river. They won't risk freezing to death in the ice-cold water. What's more, now the elk's antlers are at just the right height to keep the wolves at bay. It's stalemate. But it's now the elk that has a problem of his own. Although it's only knee-deep, he can't stay in this freezing water forever. A young female is not prepared to let him go. But the elk is strong. One-on-one, he has the advantage. Her only support is another youngster. They are neither strong or experienced enough to bring this elk down, but it's enough to make him turn and run. Back to the river, where he knows they won't follow. But the longer he stays in the freezing water, the weaker he will get. Others before him have waited here too long. And wolves are patient. Right now, his strength is his only advantage. He has to try again. This time, even the young wolves stay put. Without the support of the pack, they never really stood a chance. And the pack have already decided that this early in the winter, a bull elk in his prime is just too strong. But as the winter gets colder and the snow gets deeper, the tables will turn.
Markhor gather for their annual rut. Males must fight for the right to breed, but on these sheer cliffs, any slip by either animal could be fatal. A snow leopard, the rarest of Himalayan animals, It's a female returning to her lair. These are the first intimate images of snow leopard ever filmed in the wild. She greets her one-year-old cub. Her den is well chosen. It has exceptional views of the surrounding cliffs. On these treacherous slopes, no hunter other than a snow leopard would have a chance of catching such agile prey. A female with young makes an easier target. Her large paws give an excellent grip, and that long tail helps her balance. Silently, she positions herself above her prey. St. Andrew's Beach is one of the most crowded on the planet, and so holding a territory here is a constant battle. This bull elephant seal holds the mating rights to 60 females. For 2 months, he's guarded this stretch of beach. Unable to feed, he's losing 10 kilos a day. And he's exhausted. But other bulls are lying around, waiting their chance. Blubber, 15 centimeters thick, is protection against the cold, but not from the impact of a 4-ton opponent. He holds his ground and forces the intruder back out to sea. Life in the Antarctic is harsh indeed. But all these creatures come here because the Southern Ocean is one of the richest on Earth.
A couple of days later, I can't believe the pack's luck. A herd of muskox are grazing in our valley. They are huge. Now that is one animal I'm scared of, and they've got a bad attitude towards anything that looks like a predator. Right, I'm not too happy about this because the muskox are coming straight towards me. I'm in a very dangerous position, trapped between the wolves and their prey. Now, this could get interesting. How's this going to play out? It looks like they're going to cross right over towards the wolves. It's crazy. Muskox pose a danger to the pups. The wolves are up on their feet. They're heading right up towards the wolves. Holy mackerel. Now these wolves are going to have to spring into action. My God. Really relaxed. God, these wolves are super cool. My wolves are hungry, but this is a big herd. The pack are outnumbered 2 to 1. It's not often that a meal comes straight towards a wolf, but that's what seems to have happened here. Now the wolves have to really think carefully whether this is worth it, whether they stand a chance. Oh, she's making a go for it. Luna and Romulus lead the charge. They're going for it. They're going for the muskox. They're going for the muskox. Jeez, they sit panicking amongst the herd. They don't want them to get them up on the hill because they'll lose them on the flat. Muskox have regained the advantage. 2 massive bulls, about 10 females. Maybe they don't stand a chance. Crikey. A huge bull senses their desperation. In the confusion, the herd make a break. Oh my word. With Luna and Romulus in pursuit. That was exciting.
60 million tons of snow now blanket this herd's territory. Pushing through deep snow is exhausting work, and the bison are now slowly starving. Just keeping warm saps huge amounts of energy. Their thick coats can insulate them down to -30 Celsius. It's now -40. The only thing that will keep them alive is buried beneath a metre of snow. And that's a problem shared with a surprising neighbour. The food the fox seeks is also deep beneath the snow. The survival of both creatures depends on getting through to the ground. For the bison, it will be a matter of brute strength. Massive neck muscles enable them to shovel 5 tons of snow a day. Their lightweight neighbour needs more precision. Bison have reached their goal, a mouthful of withered grass. And where the bison have dug, the fox now spots an opportunity. Every footstep counts. But he mustn't break through. Yet. He listens carefully to pinpoint his target. It's moving. A vole. Small, but 100 times more nutritious than a mouthful of dried grass. To get through the winter on these prairies, sometimes brain beats brawn.
If animals are to work in a team, they need to be able to communicate with one another. And sometimes it's possible for you to communicate with them.
Wolves howl to warn neighbouring packs to keep their distance, but they also do so to reunite their own pack if it's got scattered after a long hunt. And as they assemble again, they visibly delight in one another's company. This pack too, like that of African hunting dogs, is ruled by an alpha pair, who are the only ones to breed. But there's also a strict hierarchy among the other members, one for males and one for females. This is reinforced daily by mouth-licking, crawling and mounting. These rituals become particularly intense just before the pack leaves on a hunt. It's a bonding session that reminds each hunter of its place in the team. Invaluable in the struggle to come. And off they go. Those distant dots are their targets. Elk, the North American equivalent of the European red deer. Snow drifts will make the chase difficult. A wolf's pads are particularly broad, but in really deep snow, the elk's long legs give them the advantage. And in such country as this, there is little chance of taking them by surprise. So the chase is likely to be a long and exhausting one. One of the stags is flagging, and the pack have managed to separate it from the main herd. Another sprints past close by and confuses things. Most of the wolves stick to their original quarry. They have, after all, been harrying it for some time, and it may be tiring. But it's got away. Another wolf is chasing the stag that ran by them earlier. But that escapes too. Only 1 in 10 wolf hunts is successful. Reunited at last. The mother sees her chick for the first time. She's keen to start parenting, but the father needs persuading to surrender the chick he's been caring for all winter. He must now put his chick at risk. In these temperatures, it could freeze in seconds. The male will have to let go. Eventually, the transfer to the mother is safely made. The chicks grow quickly on a diet of fish and squid. Soon they're keen to explore, but always with mother in tow. This chick is less fortunate. Its mother has not returned to claim it. Another orphan is searching for a new family, but this female already has a chick of her own. Some orphans receive too much mothering from penguins whose own chicks have not survived. The urge to parent is so strong that they will compete with one another to adopt any chick they find. Many of these squabbles end in tragedy, as the poor chick is trampled to death. Those chicks that do have parents quickly learn survival skills. Even in spring, they must huddle together for warmth, just as their fathers did in the depths of winter. A group of chicks has got lost in the blizzard. Cold and disorientated, they search for the colony. It will not be long before the storm claims its first victims. By early summer, the chicks are surprisingly well developed and now look ready to take on the world. Those that survive their first year have the best possible start in life, thanks to the extraordinary hardships endured by their parents. Parents who battled with the Antarctic winter and won.
We just came over this bridge and suddenly there was just wolves. It's just unbelievable.
Ellesmere Island in the Canadian Arctic is a land with some of the most extreme conditions on Earth. Across the seasons, the team goes searching for the stars of the show, Arctic wolves. These incredible predators need to eat regularly, and they hunt in packs to take down their prey. The crew are here to film how they survive this extreme and changing landscape. But with Ellesmere Island being about 76,000 square miles, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. After days with no luck, the team resort to some less conventional methods.
That didn't sound like a wolf. It sounded like a moose. It's a pretty big foot.
They're out there somewhere. The only question is where.
Gone somewhere over there, but who knows?
Excitedly, the crew take off in the pack's direction.
We just came over this bridge and suddenly there was just all this cotton grass and then wolves. It's just unbelievable.
A very wolfish welcome.
There's one of these wolves that has a gaping hole in its ribcage. You can actually hear it gurgling and wheezing. It's a punctured lung. Unbelievable that it's still alive.
Having initially not being able to locate the wolves, now the team struggle to keep their distance from these curious predators.
They're just so confident. Almost too confident.
With the family of wolves successfully located, the crew can easily track them from here in. Filming begins and continues over the course of 8 weeks, amongst ever-changing seasons and weather. But the crew certainly aren't as well adapted to the landscape here as the wolves.
It's just insane how quickly they move across it, and they make it look effortless. And we've been struggling at every turn.
As the footage stacks up, so do the problems. From small ones.
Oh my god, I'm just like covered in bugs.
To big ones.
This is hell. If anyone thought wildlife filmmaking was glamorous, it's really not.
To really big ones.
The wind is going crazy. It feels like the tent is about to blow away. This is not good.
Filming throughout the seasons here is tough, no matter what time of year. As the filming continues despite a snowstorm, the crew see how the wolves sustain themselves here. This isolated bull is a large prize for the coordinated pack. And there's a surprise for the crew.
The injured one, its wound is healing. He was actually the main instigator of the hunt.
Hunting and killing the bull takes many hours, which is never easy for the crew.
I feel pretty sorry for the bull. He's not doing well. It's just the way it is out here.
We're just here to wait it out, see what happens.
After many grueling hours, the hunt enters its final stage as the bull is slowly brought down.
It's pretty heavy. It took a while. Basically, they just wore him down. It's just rough. It's hard up here. Everything's hard up here.
When the shoot comes to an end, the crew leave with high hopes that the wolves here will keep surviving in this most extreme of landscapes.
It's pretty special being able to follow these guys on their journey. It's been an unbelievable experience.
We were hoping to find wolves and get close to them, but to get this close is just absolutely incredible. It's better than I could have ever imagined.
Somehow, in this melee of 60,000 or so penguins, a parent has to find its chick. It returns to the place where it last left its chick in the hope that it might still be close by. But chicks tend to wander, so the adult has to call to it. The chick responds, and they slowly home in on one another. The plaintive entreaties of the chick stimulates the adult to regurgitate a mouthful of fish. With the return of one parent, the other is free to go to sea to feed for itself. Aware of the leopard seal's presence, the penguins press together at the ice edge, unwilling to be the first to risk diving in. Occasionally, the seal comes out onto the ice and attempts to grab one. But its most successful strategy by far is to lie in wait. It hides behind a corner of ice. The emperors gain confidence and make a dash for it. The first wave of penguins escape. Once in open water, they will be safe. The seal is alerted by the noise, and through the mass of bubbles, it makes its attack. Almost invariably, it makes a kill. Encouraged by the absence of the seal, the remaining penguins make a break for the open sea. In time, their chicks will fledge. And when the Antarctic autumn is near its end, these adults will walk across the newly formed ice to endure yet another winter on the frozen sea.